Welcome back everyone to our career mode series of NASCAR Heat 4. And in today's video, we're going back to Las Vegas. And the reason we're going back to Vegas is that if you remember early in the season, we ran at Vegas and we're struggling to get inside the top 25 because that was very early in the season and we didn't have much of a truck at that point. We didn't have much horsepower and we didn't have very good handling either. So top 25 is all we could muster and we just barely got that done. So now we're back in race 19 of the 23 race season to see how much better we can do with a much more upgraded truck. So let's first take a look at our team. Department maximums, 95 across the board in the first three. And then the pit crew will get into a little bit later as we finally get those upgraded. But for now, we're focused on the engine, aero, and suspension. Now, even though we're at 95s across the board, and that seems very close to fully upgraded, if we come in and actually see how much money will it take to get us fully upgraded, $810,000 just on the first three components. And that is a huge amount of money in the truck series. So it's going to be pushing us to have enough money to get this thing fully upgraded even into next season, because we simply don't make that much money at each truck event, only between 30 and 40,000. 40,000 being just on the very few handful of races that have huge payouts. Normally, 30,000 is about it, give or take. So 810,000 is going to take a lot of money and a lot of races for us to get there, but we'll get there one step at a time. The first thing I plan on doing will be the engine. We want to get our horsepower where it needs to be. And then we'll probably take care of suspension, which is the second most important component, before finally we will upgrade aero, depending on how the season goes and how much money we have as we move along. Let's next take a look at the season standings. Here we are ready for race 19 of 23, and we are 17th in the points. Now you notice next to our name, we see one victory, and that actually came at Eldora. I had recorded that race with the intention of putting it up on the channel for you guys, but unfortunately, it was a blow-away victory. We had no issue whatsoever. We started inside the top 10 and very quickly got to the lead and just ran away with it. We had lapped all the way up inside the top 10 by the end of that race, and it wasn't even a very long race. So I was very disappointed with the AI at that track. Even at maximum difficulty, they were no match for us with a less than upgraded truck. So very disappointed there, so I decided not to put it on the channel because that's simply not what we're interested in this series. We want to struggle and fight for every position we get, whether it's racing for a victory, racing for 10th, or racing for 30th. Doesn't matter as long as we're having some great racing, and a runaway victory is certainly not a great race. So that means for our future plans, that cost to start our own Xfinity team of $290,000. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to run another full season in the trucks, and we're going to see if we can't chase a championship. So our goal in the next season will be to get ourselves at least one victory and enough points that we can qualify for the playoffs and see if we can't make our way to Homestead for the championship race with an opportunity for the championship. So now as we work our way back to the main screen, let's go ahead and select our car for the race. There you can see Speedway chassis number 1, 95s across the board, which is exactly what we need. We'll go ahead and select that. And now we're ready to race. All right, folks, it is race time here at Las Vegas. We're going to be starting just inside the top 20, around 17th or 18th, I believe. So we certainly have some work to do if we're going to get into our goal position of a top 15. And who knows, maybe we can get a little bit higher than that, but top 15 is what we're shooting for. The good news is we're starting in the bottom row, so that should help out a little bit here at the beginning. And oh wow, it's showing us in 15th right now, so we must have had some serious pre-race grid adjustments. Inside lane really backed up right there. Fortunately, we had an escape route. When that happens and you're on the high side, you just got to hope that there's a lane up there for you to get to. All right, so stage 1 and 2 will be fairly short. Ouch. Okay, that's one way of getting us out of the way. You just run us out of the way. Appreciate that, Burton. So short stages here at the beginning of the race, and then we'll have roughly the last half of the race under what we hope to be green flag conditions. Give that tire wear a chance to take effect. As always, we're running against maximum difficulty AI. Oh wow, we had a heck of a run coming through turns 1 and 2. Unfortunately, we had to get out of it because these guys got a bit squirrely in front of us, but if we can continue that, we should have a real good truck for today. So far so good. We're up to 13th. And you can see once again we have a really nice run on the truck in front of us. I think it was the 32 this time. The turns 3 and 4 are not our friend. We're just a little too tight to do much here. In fact, these guys are going to be trying to get to our inside through that corner. All right, a couple of laps left here in stage 1. We're up into 11th, so if these guys continue fighting in front of us, we got a realistic shot at getting some stage points, or at least a stage point. Unfortunately, look like they just got too much speed for us. I'm not closing in on them, or at least not quickly enough. A lot of bumps on the bottom of turn 1 and 2. And those are very much there in real life as well. Have been since they repaved and reconfigured. All right, so we'll finish off stage 1 in 11th position. Very nice. No stage points, but that's okay. That's much better than I thought we would be going in. All right, so we got 28 laps remaining. Do we come into pit? I don't think so right now. Our tires still look really good. So let's do not pit. And most importantly, the tires are wearing pretty evenly on the right side, and that's really the biggest thing to keep in mind. We're going green. We don't want to wear out the right front or the right rear. All right, 7 laps here in stage 2, and boy, do we have a run here at the beginning. This is a good restart for us. Oh, but as always, these guys seem to struggle in turns 1 and 2, particularly the exit. So we have to get out of the gas, and we're down on horsepower, so we don't need to get out of the gas any more than is necessary. You see Burton just blowing back by us on the outside. That is horsepower, folks. All right, I'd like to thank the Xbox for dropping some frames there. A lot of stuttering right there. I really appreciate that. That's nice. This is when I really, really miss my PC version of the game. All right, you can see in the top right-hand corner, we are in 9th position, about halfway through this first stage. Trying to give these guys room. Really hard and really fun racing right now in the pack. So we're showing in 8th right now. We'll have to see if we can keep that up. All right, I think we're 3 wide. Not that our wonderful spotter has given us a whole lot of information, or at least not that I can hear. You've got 2 problems with the spotter. The first problem with the spotter is he doesn't talk very much and he doesn't give you information you need when you need it. The second problem is he is overrun by the engine sounds. And the engine sounds are quite nice in this year's game, but I need to hear the spotter. Once again, I think we're 3 wide, but I don't know for sure. So I'm just trying to pinch it down to the bottom off the corners just to make sure I give these guys some room if they are indeed out there. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're in the middle of 3 wide. Oh, we're going to get put into the wall. That's what happens when you're 3 wide and the AI don't know you're 3 wide. That's what we're trying to avoid. All right, so hopefully that damage wasn't too terribly bad. But of course, we will have some damage. All right, he's telling me still there. I don't know what he's talking about. We weren't beside anybody. Again, the spotter needs a complete overhaul in this game. It is not good. I wish that I could say different. I wish I could say it does a great job, but it just doesn't. Now, for those of you who choose to run from a view, outside the truck, then you're probably perfectly fine because you can see what's going on around you. But for those of us who go for the immersion of driving inside the cockpit, then it is torturous sometimes to deal with the lack of information or misinformation we get from the spotter. All right, so our damage doesn't seem to be hindering us too much. We're still able to keep up with these guys and come home in 10th, and that means a stage point. Boy, we haven't gotten very many of those during this season, so we'll take all of them we can get. All right, so now I'm thinking we got 20 laps to go. We're coming into pit, even though it doesn't look like anybody around us is going to come into pit. All right, so let's just go ahead and let's leave everything the way it is. We're just going to get some new tires on this thing. Now, you can see that's going to take us to the back. And that's because nobody else pitted. I'm not quite sure why that is. It's entirely possible that they know something I don't. And so I guess we're about to find out. But right now, my brain is telling me that this should be the right move to come in and get tires. We should be able to run past a lot of these guys. Well, that is if we can find any room on the track. We got plenty of time left in this race, so if we got the speed to get there, we'll be able to get there because we've got time. So remember, we pitted from 10th position, so we got to make it back to at least that area in order to consider it a good idea to pit. And you can see we're coming through here pretty good. I'm trying to save some tire because, again, we are using some pretty aggressive tire wear settings, so I don't want to run the tires off of it trying to come through the pack, but at the same, oh, look out! Yikes, he had us pinned in the right rear and was trying to turn us. So this race is going to be anything but uneventful. All right, we're now back inside the top 20, but now we've got some more damage in our right rear. We're going to see how that plays out. Hopefully it doesn't negate our new tires and we're able to keep moving forward. You can see we are crushing them. Oh, Moffat, come on now. We'll need you to keep the speed up. We were completely out of the throttle on the exit of 1 and 2, which is not a good idea for us. We don't have the horsepower to deal with that. All right, once again, we've got plenty of speed on these guys. And all right, we are getting very close now to where we were prior to our pit stop. In fact, yes, we've made it. We passed a lot of cars that last lap. So now we're back to a top 10. So the question now is, how much more can we get? We've still got plenty of time left. Oh, yeah, appreciate that. Good job, Ben Finger. So he sort of shut the door on us there. So he gives us a little room, and then he tries to take it away.
Careful, still there.
Oh, look out! Finger's loose. I could hear his tires squealing. Luckily, there was minimal contact there between the two trucks. But for a moment, I thought we were done for. All right, 10 more laps. He says, my spotter says he needs 10 more solid laps. That's one of the few things I've heard him say during this whole race.
Careful, still there. Clear all around.
All right, I am really liking that decision to come in and get new tires at this point. Just not sure why the AI did not do the same thing.
Still there.
I could understand not coming in if there were only, another stage of, 6, 7, 8 laps, like the first couple of stages, then that would have been understandable to stay out. But not with, 15 to 20 laps. So I think in overall speed, we are between 10th and 12th probably at this point in the upgrades of our truck. But of course, with this strategy play to come in and get tires, we're going to look much better than that by the end of this race, unless our tires really start to fall off hard. And again, as I've mentioned in previous races, you notice that I don't have any of the overlays on the screen. It's because I'm not trying to see the tire wear right now. I don't want to see where our tires are. I want to just have to feel that. Okay, this isn't good. All right, as you could see there very clearly, the AI has no idea what to do when there's a slower truck on the track. They don't know what to do, even though there was tons of room, and I believe that was Parker Kligerman. But he was giving everybody plenty of room on the high side. But the AI they get totally confused in that situation. But now that puts us up to a podium position. 6 more laps remaining. And let's see, can we close in? Are these the 2 leaders in front of us, or are we getting into some lap traffic? I'm guessing these are the leaders because I don't see anything in front of them. But I can't quite see who they are, so we're just going to assume that those are the leaders. And yes, we need them to keep racing like they are right now, side by side. We need them to keep it up. more they race, the more it slows them down, and the better opportunity it gives us of catching them. The truck is handling quite nicely, in fact. Not bad at all. Certainly not perfect. I try to make the truck for all the career mode races, regardless of the series. I try to make it a little bit tight because I know we're going to spend most of our time in traffic, and I want to make sure that we've got some stability there that we can lean on. All right, 3 more laps. And we are closing in on these guys, but I don't know that we're closing in fast enough. And they're not fighting any longer, so that's not good. But we are going to be dangerously close by the end of this race. The good news is, if you look in our rearview mirror, there is nothing there. We have easily pulled away from the rest of the field, who I'm sure are all lamenting the fact that they did not come in and get new tires. All right, we're coming to, I believe, the white flag, which doesn't seem possible. I could have sworn that last lap by, it was 6 laps to go. And unfortunately, we can't quite get there. We are so close to running these guys down and having a chance to race for it, but we can't quite get close enough. You can see we are closing in on these guys. All right, we're going to give it all we got in this last corner, but they're holding their own pretty good here. But we will take it. A podium finish at Vegas. Again, a far cry from what happened to us in the first trip here. Wow. I like it. I like it quite a bit. You can see we're about 7/10 of a second behind the leader there at the end. All right, so our race earnings, that is awesome. That is a huge payout for us compared to what we normally have an opportunity to get. $60,000, almost $61,000. Yes, please. So we're still, unfortunately, in 17th position in points. And we are quite a few points out of 16th, so not looking too good about increasing our standing before the end of the season. All right, so fastest lap is really immaterial at this point. All right, there you can see 279,000. Here comes the car wear. Of course, it comes down to 70, and then let's see, moderate driving. All right, so we did have some contact, but it's still 77 across the board. We will take that. That is really good. All right, so far so good. Let's see what kind of Twitter feedback we get. Not bad. A top 5 at Las Vegas is always nice. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Stuart Friesen. All right, so are we going boating or bowling even? Anything. Come on, somebody tell me that we're going on some trips. All right, so more races like that, and you'll be sitting pretty for the championship. I think Matt Crafton is a bit confused because we are nearing the end of the season, and we are not in the championship run. All right, so Austin Wayne Sell. Okay, apparently we had some contact with him today. As always, I'm not really paying all that close of attention who we're racing around. But we definitely had some contact with a few guys. Oh, here we go. Harrison Burton says, last time I checked, we were going four-wheeling next week. All right, so this time it's not on the lake. We're going four-wheeling, but unfortunately, we had some contact with Harrison Burton Now, I remember racing a little bit around Harrisonburg, but I don't remember contact with him. Oh well, such is life. But apparently four-wheeling is in our plans as well. I like it. All right, Johnny Sauter, also some contact apparently. All right, we'll apologize to him. So we've got a lot of friends over the course of the season. And if you're not familiar with sort of how that system works of the friend and rival, it's very hard to get rivals. All you really need to do is apologize after the race if you have contact. And for the most part, they will, at a minimum, stay on the neutral side and most likely end up becoming friends. All right, so that's going to do it for today. A very successful race as we come home with a podium top 3 finish at Las Vegas. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our career mode series of NASCAR Heat 4.